Grandma's Kitchen.
There's a fiddle tune and a wooden spoon while she's stirring and singing. There's friends leaving or family landing, and the phone's usually ringing. No matter who you are or what you've done, everything's forgiven.
Thank God. Thank God.
Thank
God. Grandma's Kitchen.
And ain't it good to be in Grandma's kitchen?
Grandma's Kitchen.
Hello everybody. I'm just going to check on something here. There we go. Hello everybody and welcome back. It's Mary Janet here from Tunes and Wooden Spoons, and thanks for tuning in once again. And that music you were hearing in the background, that is none other than Mac Morin from his 2011 CD. And of course, you've listened to Mac and you've loved him just as much as I do. So it's always nice to play local music for sure. So today, I'm hoping that everybody had a wonderful week. We had a little bit of rain here, which we very much needed, but not as much as we thought we were going to get. But I think that the grass and the trees and the gardens and everything loved getting a little drink for sure. Today, as you know, we're going to be making hot fudge sundae cake. And that cake has been around our house. I don't even know where I ever got that recipe, but it's been in our repertoire of recipes for many, many, many years. And I hope you'll love it just as much as I do. I know some of you have said that you've had something similar or the same thing. Some said they never had it with ice cream, but it's a hot fudge sundae cake. So you have to have ice cream if it's a sundae cake. And I wanted to mention a couple of things. Last week we talked about the Inverness County tour with Sandy Tours. So I just wanted to give it another little mention. It's sandytraveltours.ca. If you want to check out that website, things are going along quite well for that, and that's happening on September the 25th, a little tour of Inverness County, and with none other than Ron McCacken of Sandy Travel Tours. So I hope that if you're in any area along Cape Breton and you want to go, or all in Halifax, mainland Nova Scotia, check the website out. He's put a lot of information and pictures up on the website, which will give you more information on, especially on all the precautions that are being taken, so that you can enjoy and get out and enjoy the culture and the music and the people that you're going to meet. As well, our internet in rural Nova Scotia is really bad, and I know that there are programs afoot to make it better, but it's going to take a long time, I do believe. But anybody who is listening and watching today, who are especially from Inverness County, would you please go to Facebook and search for Better Internet for Inverness County, and like that page and read every bit of information that's on that page, and sign up for information purposes, and will help all of us. And I have terrible internet here. My upload is 2 point something mega whatever, and my download is 5 point something, and I know there's people out there that understand that. I know that mine is really, really bad, comparable to my son who is in Halifax, who has more than 500 on both of those. So we're here to help one another, and certainly those of you in Inverness County who haven't joined on that, and if you're on Facebook, please do that. That would be wonderful. Okay, the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go wash my hands, and I want you to set your oven to 350, and I want you to turn your kettle on. You're going to need some hot water, not boiling water, just good hot water, okay? Be right back. I'll try not to trip on my cords here. go. Hope you can all hear me fine with this little mic going on here. And we have music today. So I have to remember to look at you and not at my computer. So let's get right into baking. It's going to take a very short time to make this. Now, before I start and you have a pan, I am using a 9 by 9 inch square pan. You can use an 8 by 8 inch square pan. It'll just make it a little bit thicker, and you have to be really careful when you're carrying it to the oven because the water will be sloshing around on the top. So I'm using a 9 by 9, and I'll get, I don't know, 5 or 6 servings out of that. And you can double this recipe into a 9 by 13 inch pan if you're having it for dinner. And the thing is, don't make it until you're going to be serving it within the hour, because it's meant to be served hot and with the cold ice cream on it. So plan for it to, before you have your supper, while you're just going to sit down, pop it in the oven then, and then right after supper, it'll be ready for you to enjoy. All right, we're going to start off here. The recipe has been posted to my Facebook page and also to my website, so you can search that out. We're going to start with 1 cup of flour. Just put that in your big bowl that you're going to be mixing. And 3/4 cups of white sugar. So I'm using a 1/2 cup measure and a 1/4 cup measure for 3/4 cup. And now 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Somebody asked me one time, what kind of cocoa? I thought they meant the brand, but I didn't know that there was a difference between Dutch cocoa and whatever the other one was. I don't even know. But just plain old cocoa powder is all I've ever used. So hopefully you have the right stuff. Now you're going to need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And you're going to need a little bit of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to guess that. Now, that's all for the dried ingredients, and I'm going to stir that up. And I mean, it depends on what way your cocoa is. If you have cocoa that you haven't used for a while or whatever, it'll have a few lumps in it, whatever. You can always use a sieve or a sifter. I have both, but my cocoa is pretty good. It's nice. So we just mix that up, just like that. And now we're going to do the wet ingredients. So we're going to need a 1/2 cup of milk. So just pour that into another dish. And 2 tablespoons of oil, canola or vegetable. I don't even know what I have. I switch from back and forth. This one's canola. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now you just give that a little stir. And you're going to add that right into the dry ingredients. And that's it for the to make the batter for the brownie part of this. Just give that a good mix until it's nicely mixed. Doesn't make a huge batter. Perfect. Okay, you're going to get your 9x9 pan or whatever it is you're making yours in. Now, you don't have to. I just spray it a little bit just so it's not sticky. And I'm trying to get it out of the pan. But you don't have to do that. You choose what you want to do. I'd be interested in finding out how many of you actually tried Cecil's chow recipe that I posted. I had lots of questions about it that people were emailing me. And it's so nice for people to be making those old-fashioned dishes. Because chow, well, that was mustard chow, but regular chow, it's really hard to get both of them, any of them, in the store. Okay, so just mix that up. Spread it out. Perfect. There we go. You see all that? All right, now the magic starts with what we're going to put on the top. I do need another bowl here. Just pardon me. I have my trusty other one. I have two of them. I ordered the second one by mistake, but I'm really glad I did. So I love it. Of course, it's Pampered Chef. Okay, so now you're going to mix together 1 cup of brown sugar. So I'm using my 1/2 cup measure. Put a 1/2 cup in. And a 1/2 cup to make 1 cup. And you're going to need 1/4 cup, I think. 1/4 cup of cocoa. And you're going to mix that up. Get that out of the way. This reminds me of mixing up cinnamon and brown sugar, which that's the way I like to make cinnamon toast. When we make cinnamon toast, instead of the white sugar, we like to use brown sugar here. Okay, oven is calling. It's all ready. Okay, so there we have, it's all mixed up, and you're going to shake that over your batter evenly as you can. Did I turn my kettle on? Yes, I did. Make sure you have some hot water ready. It doesn't have to be boiling. If there's any lumps, do not worry about that. They'll all get nice and baked. So basically you're creating the sauce on the top and with the hot water, and then it just kind of upside down itself when it's baking so that you end up with the brownie on the top and all of the chocolate sauce, hot sauces on the bottom. It's so good. You give that a little shake, and you are going to need 1 3/4 cups of hot water. I'll be right back. All right. Please, if you are any of our young bakers out there, be very careful of this part. And maybe you should get mom or dad to help you if you're doing that. You're going to just lightly pour this in. Don't spill it all in. Just gently pour it around the pan. Cover all the surface if you can. And you will, because it'll be pretty sloshy. Whoever came up with this whole thing, you wonder, where do these recipes ever come from? Creations. Amazing cooks. And I hope you have your vanilla ice cream or your chocolate ice cream or whatever ice cream you like to have. There. So, there it is, folks. Can you see how sloshy that is? I'm going to put it in the oven for 40 minutes, and then I'll turn it over to our entertainers. And that would be Lisa Cameron, which I told you about last week, and her son Finn, who's accompanying her on the ukulele. And we'll be sitting down and having tea and having a little chat. And when it's done, we're going to sample the goodies. Okay? So just bear with me here, and I'll get them all set up down in the living room. And don't forget to set your timer for 40 minutes. I would die without my timer. Okay, folks, I'm going to turn this around to the living room and take all my little cords with me. Okay, let me turn this off first. I'll turn Mac off from singing. Alrighty, there's Lisa and Finn.
Hello.
So I'm going to get you sitting down and see if I'm going to lower this a little bit, I think.
Oh, boys.
Well, maybe not.
there you go.
Okay, a little bit. And maybe I'll pull it back so we can see the guitar.
Okay.
And let me turn Mac off there. Pardon me, folks. I'm just going to turn the light on here so that you're not too much in the dark. All right, so I'm going to come over here and sit beside Finn for a minute. And I'm going to maybe not have this on me the whole time. Maybe I can just put it here in front of this.
Place and you won't be looking for it later.
There, and then you can... How are you doing, Finn?
Good.
So, welcome again to my living room. Can you see
There
me
you go.
here?
Yeah,
I
You
can
can push
see-
back
I
a
can
little
see
bit.
that.
Or you can.
But welcome, Lisa.
Thanks. We're so happy to be here.
I know. Well, Lisa, I think I've told you this before. She married to my nephew, Vernon, who's also a guitar player, but he's not here today. He sent a darn good replacement. And this is Finn and McDougall. They live in Judick on the Hillsdale Road. And of course, Lisa's a singer, songwriter who has been singing for many, many, many years. And as in many families, that just continues. And it's so nice to see Finn just learning and sharing and being on stage, which he has been. So I'll turn it over to you,
Okay.
Lisa, whatever you...
Some people are saying they can't hear. I don't know if that
They can't hear?
Can't hear. Can you hear me? Can you hear Lisa and Finley, or can you hear me?
I'll check the volume.
Okay. She said hard to hear you, but we really haven't done very much yet, so.
Okay, let me see. I'll check on the volume here. Okay, do you want to do a test there?
I love that you have so many helpful people in your comments.
I know.
I was reading your comments when you
Were
were doing
you?
that, and I was like, oh my gosh, everybody is so happy and delighted, and then they're like, oh no, we can hear you fine, and or telling you, helping you out like that. That's such a nice community of people you have watching.
I believe that, and they are also helpful to one another. You know,
Right.
where I can't or Tammy can't, because Tammy is the one that usually is out in Fort Mac and answering all the questions too
Yeah.
sometimes.
Right.
But it's a happy group.
That's right.
It's
so
a happy
much
group.
So it's really, really nice.
So
Okay.
I'd like to maybe keep this over here somewhere.
What if I
Put it right
put
on
my
your
guitar
strap?
maybe? And we'll try a song and see if
And you guys let Lisa know how that's going.
see if that works. Some people are saying they can hear, some people are not. So anyway, that's okay. We'll try it. We'll try a song first, and you can let us know. I'm gonna do this first song because Mary Janet, this is one of the songs that you like that I've written, and I wrote this song. I always say a few years ago, but now it's like over 10 years ago that I wrote this song. So, but I wrote it while I was living in Halifax. And I was one of those kids when I was growing up. I grew up in Meringue that was saying, when I get out of here, I'm never coming back, right? How many teenagers have you heard say that? Mm-hmm. And here I am. Now we've been living here for 13 years. We moved back when Finley was 6 months old.
Good.
And I know, and I could not be happier with that choice. I love, love, love where I live. And, but I was living in Halifax, and I'm a teacher, but I had quit teaching for a couple of years and decided to take music a little bit more seriously. So I waited on tables to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And restaurants were full of people who were doing what I was doing, playing music, but making a living, paying their rent by waiting on tables. So I met one of my best friends in the world there, and she's one of these friends I don't see very often, but we could call each other at the drop of a hat or text and be right back to where we were 10 years ago when I was working there. And she was a singer-songwriter too. She's from New Waterford. Her name is Janet MacDonald.
Oh,
yep,
okay.
She's a very talented singer-songwriter as well. And we just used to play a few gigs together, and we had a lot of things in common. We became very good friends. So we worked together for about 2 years, and she came into the restaurant one night and said she was moving to Toronto. And nothing against Toronto, but I was really sad to hear that she was going. And a little skeptical about the gentleman she was going with. But I didn't want to tell her that. You know how that turns out sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I wrote this tune the night that she left. And it's funny because she said she was going to stay for 2 years, but she left, I think it was September, and came back in May without the gentleman. So that all worked out for the best. And we were playing a gig when she came back one night, and I wanted to sing this song because I just recorded it, and I didn't want to tell that story. And so I made up some story about going out west or something like that. And when I finished the song, she said, "Was that about me?" So I wasn't very cryptic in the song, I guess.
Yes. Well, when I listen to this song, it can cross over many
Right.
things that happen in your life, but that particular day our daughter Margie had left, and I had said goodbye to her, and she was going back out west to Fort McMurray. And then I was also thinking of graduates
Right.
who were leaving for university,
Yes.
and the parents having to make that separation, and it was so sad. And so
Yeah.
that's what I think of.
This was
Love it.
right, and this was something my mom always said to me. Like if I called from university, or if I called, I've lived in a whole bunch of different places, and if I called and I was a little down or something, she would go, well, you can always come back home, knowing full well, right? Like, which is kind of tough love. Well, you can always come back home, knowing full well that I would either be too stubborn, that I was going to try and stick it out, but still reassuring me that, you can always just get in the car, get on a plane, come back home. So this is called You Can Always Come Back Home. And you can sing along, Mary Janet. If your big city dreams aren't exactly what they seem, you can always come back home. If you come knocking again, I will always let you in. You can always come back home. I understand your fear, but it's all that keeps you here. You can always come back home. There are 100 doors. All this big world could be yours. You can always come back home. Oh, I love you. I wish you were staying, but it's something I won't say out loud. Just as long as you know you'll always have a place to go, and you can always come back home. It's been done before. Oh, don't let your heart be torn. You can always come back home. Oh, I love you. I wish you were staying, but it's something I just can't say out loud. Just as long as you know you'll always have a place to go, and you can always come back home. Oh, you can always come back home, and you can always come back home. Back home. Very nice.
Do you know what I was thinking of?
What were you thinking?
It's a whole other meaning now as well. So I get so many comments from people who are from Nova Scotia or from anywhere where they can't come back.
Oh,
during
isn't it heartbreaking?
this whole summer
Yeah.
and during COVID, and God knows when that can happen again.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of meaning
Yeah,
there.
I know that it's so sad to see so many comments from people on Facebook and things, and people are posting pictures of beaches, and people are going, oh, because it's part of their summer every summer, right? They book their vacation to come at certain times.
So
looks like it's-
Lisa, where is your music available?
My latest CD, which is 2014, is on iTunes and available around Inverness County, and on something called CD Baby. It's also available for download there. Yeah. The other one I made in 2004, and it's a little harder to get your hands on. But if you even, I have a Facebook page, a personal Facebook page, and a music page. And if you're interested in that, you could just send me a message.
So what is it, Lisa Cameron Music or?
No, it's just there's a few Lisa Camerons, but if you put Lisa Cameron Music, you would get my music Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, for sure. So yeah, there's a lot of Lisa Camerons in the world,
Isn't that
and there's another one right in Inverness County. Actually, I think I taught her at one point, and so it's really hard to tell us apart if you don't know what we look like because.
Yes.
She's from Cape Breton, I'm from Cape Breton, and so on and so
Well,
forth.
there's not that many Mary Janet MacDonalds.
There's lots of Mary MacDonalds, I bet. So I'll do that song that I just sang was on the latest record, on the 2014 one. This one is off of the first record that we did. I did it with JP Cormier, and I had a blast recording with him. Was completely intimidated first. I remember the first time I went to JP's, it was Derek Cameron, my good friend Derek, who and Melody. They took me down to meet JP, and I had been playing with them a little bit, and they took me down to meet him, and I had a couple of songs recorded on a CD at that time, and just rough, like myself and my guitar, and he sat down, and he had a pad of yellow paper, and he was taking notes on the songs that while they were playing, and I was just cringing. And the one song that's on the record called Disgusted, he was listening to that one, and it's 3 verses, and it's just, so he turned it off after the first verse, and he said, where else does this go? And he goes, how many verses? And I said, 3. Are they all the same? Yes, they are all the same. And he was like, okay. And then he listened to the rest of it. And then he put the pad down and said, okay, we're going to record this one tonight. And I hadn't even thought we were going to record anything. So, but it was quite intimidating first.
Oh my God, he is such a musician.
Oh my gosh, just so incredibly talented. And he just seemed to hear everything the way that I heard it. It was really, it was a pleasure. It was so nice working with him.
Awesome.
And not as intimidating once you get to know him too. Like, he's a real sweetheart for sure.
Yeah.
So.
And he's one of the very ones in Nova Scotia who is suffering with internet.
Yes, that's
connectivity.
right. Yeah.
All of these artists that are professionals that
That's right.
depend on internet
Yeah.
for their business, especially at this time.
That's right. Trying to do
So,
live concerts
yeah.
and things, it's really
It's
difficult.
tough.
So this is a song. I really love country music and older country music, and I know that you do too. We've sung many songs in this setting, in this very living room. So this is a song. My sister always suggests ideas for songs for me. And one night we were sitting in a dance hall in Southwest Margaree, and we had gotten some beer, and they serve it in white plastic cups, of course. They don't give you the bottle at the dances. And we sat down, and she took a drink of her beer, and there was a big lipstick mark on the cup. And she looked at me, and she said, you should write a song about that. I said, where would I go with that? Lipstick on a beer cup. I have no idea what I would do with that. So the next day I was driving back to Halifax, and I got to the causeway, and it was open because there was a car going through. So a boat going through. I was stuck in my car, and I would have been there for a lot longer if there was a car going through. And I started to think about lipstick on a beer cup, and I was a server at a restaurant at the time. And certain more economical brands of lipstick were difficult to get off of serviettes and cups and things like that. You had to scrub a little harder at those. So I started to think of it in that context. And by the time I got back to Halifax, I had 2 verses and the chorus written. And then I just, I think I might have taken it to JP, and he said, can you put a bridge on that? And I did that, and then we recorded it shortly after that. So.
I'm just going to check.
Absolutely. So we're gonna, you mind if we take off on this one? All right. So this is called Cheap Lipstick. You gonna play a little intro on this one? Nice. You were in my dreams again last night. You jumped right on in as soon as I turned out the light. And yesterday as I was driving home, There's no way that I'm not over you. In fact, I'm better off now that we're through. And even though that's left behind, there are days when I still find like cheap lipstick on a beer cup. Even though I've made my mind up, like cheap lipstick on a beer cup, I just can't get you off my mind. Nice.
Oh, that was so good. Good on you.
Yes, playing solos and everything. It's good.
So when did you start playing the guitar and the ukulele?
I started the ukulele in grade 3 because we get introduced to it in music
Okay.
class. And I started guitar when I was 5. I got my first little toy guitar from like a toy
Is that right?
shop. Yeah.
And you just couldn't help but learn because mom and dad are always at it. Playing the guitar.
And you know what, Vern he's such a much better guitar player and a technical player than I am. Like, I just play by ear and I play chords. I don't know any lead at all. But he and Finley spend a lot of time. He really spends a lot of time with him and learning. And he's also very good to let you figure out things on your own too, that's kind of what my parents did all the time too. Not all, give you a little bit of guidance and let you kind of feel it out for yourself. So we had him playing ukulele with us because we both play guitars, and it was just a really nice compliment with having the higher tone in there. It sounds pretty nice.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
It's really good. Good on you. And thank you for Tunes and Wooden Spoons appearance. I'm so happy. Your grandma. His grandma is my sister Mamie, and she loves you guys like you wouldn't know. She's always talking about you and what nice young men you both are. He's got a little brother, Colin.
Yep.
And
Colin's at home.
is Colin into music yet?
Yes, you should hear him. He's loving the piano these days.
Oh,
Very
okay.
good. Yeah, and my brother said he may, since he's retired, start lessons with Colin and maybe Finley in the fall. So, but he's got a very good ear too, and he's playing the drums a little bit as well. And
Good stuff.
it's all good. This next tune, I have not recorded yet. It's a pretty new one. I've sung it a few times, I think, out and about. But as a songwriter, it's really scary when nothing is coming, when we don't have any new ideas. Right.
Okay.
And I remember James Taylor's one of my favorite singers, and I remember watching an interview with him one time, and he said 2 things that were absolutely essential for songwriting were isolation and like serenity, or just being by yourself. And I was like, oh my gosh, solitude was what he used. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm never going to write another song because that never happens. And that's okay, because I like what goes on in our house and how busy we are. But so one day I was going through, Kelly's at the door.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. We'll pause for a second here.
Yeah.
This weekend, our daughter Kelly and her fiance Michael and Michael's mom Marie came down to visit, and of course, along with that came little Rosie. And they're over visiting at Mitchell's, but I asked Kelly if she'd take little Rosie over, and so I'm going to go pick her up.
Oh, be careful of I just don't want you to fall. Bring it a little closer. Oh my gosh.
Rosie's got hair.
Boy, does she ever.
Okay.
There's
Can everybody
Rosie.
see little Rosie and all her hair? I gotta get her into
Hi,
the
Rosie. Hello,
the picture.
Rosie. Look at the big smile. Hi, Rosie. Hi. Hello.
And she loves music.
Oh,
so you
nice.
go ahead and finish
Okay.
that story.
So I was in a bit of a rut writing a couple of summers ago. I guess it was last summer or the summer before. And I took my book to the beach with me. We were all going to the beach, and I just threw a book in there and thought maybe something will hit me when I'm there. And as I was sitting there with the book open on my lap, a woman from Judith, Barbara, came down on the beach. She's a retired school teacher. And she came over to talk to me. And she said, "Oh, are you writing?" And I said, "I'm trying, but nothing is really happening." And she said, "Well," I said, "what are you doing on the beach today? I don't usually see you on the beach." And it was August 15th, which is the Feast of the Assumption.
Yes, that's right.
And she was saying that her mother-in-law would come down to the beach every August 15th because she thought the ocean was a cure.
Oh my gosh.
So she would come down, she would go in the water, and whatever was ailing her at the time, and it could have been physical or emotional or whatever, she really believed that that was going to help her get better.
Okay.
So, and she came down every August 15th. And then as she started getting older, she couldn't go by herself. So she would make someone else take her. And then as she got older still, and she couldn't get down anymore, she would ask somebody to go and get her a bottle of water and take it back from the ocean. So that day, Barbara said she wasn't feeling very well. She had sore knees. And she said, you know, there's a dance that she wanted to go to, and she was hoping that maybe if she went down and got in the water for a little bit, her knees would feel better and she'd be able to dance at the next dance she went to. So she went in, she walked around the water, and then as she was going back up the beach, she said to me, "Now, if you see me dancing, you'll know that this worked." And I thought, I don't even have to write this song. All I have to do is put music to it. That's such a great story. And I went home that night and I kind of started it. And the hardest thing I found, I think, was the passage of time, that I wanted to show the passage of time for each kind of stage that this lady went through. So anyway, I called it Down to the Water. Ready? It's in C.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're joining in later. Going down to the water. They say the ocean's a cure for ailments and heartache and loneliness. Going down to the water. The fates told me to. Oh, maybe I'll get my miracle if the saying is true. Take me down to the water. The years have been hard. I can't make it on my own, though I've tried. Take me down to the water. All I need is your hand. I'm not ready to give up on trying for as long as I can. All I need is your hand. I'll try as long as I can. Oh, bring me the ocean. Fill a bottle for me. All I need is the cool of the water on my face. Oh, bring me the ocean. I ask this of you, to have faith in this thing I believe, that I know to be true. All I need is you to believe it's true. All I need is you to believe it too. the ocean's a cure. Please forgive me, but all else has failed. I'm going down to the water, just like I've seen you do. And if you see me dancing, you'll know that the saying is true. Oh, you'll know it's true. I'll be dancing soon. Oh, I'll be dancing soon. Then you'll know it's true. Thank you. Pretty easy to sing when you're looking, huh? Wow, she's so cute, Kelly. That's cute.
Now, when are you going to record again?
That's a good question. Yeah, it usually just comes up if I have a lot of songs, then sometimes we'll just kind of talk about it. And it's getting to a point now too where recording, it's a lot of money to record.
Yeah.
It's a big investment, and then now it's, with all the sharing of music and whether to actually produce a hard copy of something
I know.
But
So
and then you
much,
see people going back to LPs and full play records and all those things. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe after I retire. So far it's been 10 years in between, so I guess I'm due. Right?
I know, and that happens to so many.
Yeah.
That, it's a long time in between.
And I think when you do it too, you don't really think that. I mean, it's nice to have new music, especially when you're playing different places. We've kind of settled into a routine, where we're just kind of playing locally, and we get to do Celtic colors, which is wonderful, and little things like, once in a while we get to do something that's really cool and get to meet a lot of really great people. And so we've settled
Kelly,
into that.
what's left on the timer on the stove? 9 minutes. 9 minutes. So
9
we're
minutes.
Doing good.
Yeah. Should you do your tune? Do you want to do your tune?
Oh,
Maybe you should do
sure.
that.
I wonder how I could do that. Yeah, I'm actually going. We agreed just before the show that I was going to do a song. And no, it's not This Old House. And I hope to God I can get through this with Lisa's help. I was going to try to get Kelly to
sing a little bit too, I bet. Yes, she could. Does she know
knows
this song?
one,
Oh,
I'm
watch
sure.
the music. Maybe I'll just turn this way a little bit so you can see my chords here. What are you looking for? Here, use this one. Oh, this is not. This is one I picked up here on the table. There you go. Okay, we'll trade picks. Yeah, it's in D. And I'm going up to an E here too in some of them, okay? So Finley's he hasn't played this, so I'm going to turn my back on you a little bit so he can see my hands when we're playing.
Well, this song actually, the reason that I talked about this song is, like, my sister Mamie, his grandma, and Vernon's mom. Well, how old is Mamie? 82?
She'll be 83 in December.
She'll be 83 in December.
I believe.
And so a couple of years ago, when she was like 80 or 81, we were together, and I don't know who was singing, Mitchell or Brennan, somebody was singing, and they were taking requests. And Mamie comes up with this request, and I nearly fell over because I was thinking, oh my gosh, really? She wanted to hear Faded Love, Elvis Presley recorded it, and I think he recorded it, and so did, early on was Hank Snow.
Right.
And so a different kind of, tempos and takes on it. But
right.
Anyway, I said, well, by gosh, the next party we're at, I'll learn that so that we're in the kitchen here, we'll sing it for Mamie. So today, forgive me, anybody who knows this song, but hopefully I can get through this.
We'll help you out.
Remembering everything. Okay.
I want to make sure I got the right tempo for you.
A little slower, maybe.
Pardon me if I'm sentimental, can we start again?
Yeah, we can start again.
'Cause I started out on the wrong chord, so it's my fault.
Oh.
Okay, here we go again. Pardon me if I'm
Sentimental when we say goodbye.
Play soft.
Be angry with me, should I cry? I'm a fool, but I love you, dear, until the day I die. Now and then there's a fool such as I. Now and then there's a fool such as I am for you. You taught me how to love, and now you say that we are through. I'm a fool, but I love you, dear, until the day I die. And then there's a fool such as I. Now and then there's a fool such as I am for you. You taught me how to love, and now you say that we are through. I'm a fool, but I love you, dear, until the day I die. And then there's a fool such as I. Now and then there's a fool such as I.
Nice.
That's
Beautiful.
for Mamie. And Rosie's loving
Oh,
it.
she is. What a great baby. Huh? You're even getting a little sleepy,
Are you
aren't
going to
A
say a
little
big
sleepy?
smile?
Hi, Rosie. Hello, Rosie.
I'm shy.
She looks like your brothers. Yeah, Mitchell and Brennan, she looks
And
like
you know,
yeah.
in Michael's family, her dad's family, everybody, including Michael, thinks that she looks exactly like her dad.
Her dad.
And
Aw.
when she comes home here, everybody says, "Oh, she looks so much like Kelly and her family." So I'd say she's got a lot of both sides.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's nice.
And she'll be happy next summer because her mommy and daddy are getting married
Aw,
on July
nice.
the 24th. So that's pretty exciting.
That will be exciting.
Yeah, you'll be dancing at that wedding, won't you?
Yep.
Nap time. Okay. Say goodbye, Rosie.
Bye, Rosie.
Say goodbye, Rosie. Say goodbye. Look at that hair. Okay. 4 minutes left. Okay.
4 minutes. Well, maybe we'll do one more. It might go over a little bit over.
Okay.
Okay.
No, it'll take me a little while. I gotta make tea,
Okay.
and I gotta get some. Are you gonna have some hot fudge sundae cake with ice cream?
Finley doesn't like chocolate.
You don't like chocolate?
No. Yes, he does. He loves it.
Oh, do you know what? Our oldest grandson hates chocolate. Does
don't-
not eat chocolate. And my brother, Eligrati in Michigan,
Doesn't
hates
like
chocolate.
I don't understand that. I don't.
I mean, it's just so. Anyway, I'm
Yeah.
glad you like chocolate. I'll get it ready.
So we'll do another kind of slower one here. I watched Catherine McClellan one time. I saw her live, and she said, "I'm going to sing another slow song, the lucky one." And she goes, "All my songs are slow. They're just varying degrees of slow." So that's kind of where I am too. So you and I were talking a minute ago about how we moved back home, and I never thought that I would live back here, but I love where I live. We're we're kind of in the middle of the trees up in Judic there, and I love about small towns what most people don't love about small towns, and that is everybody knows you. Everybody knows your business. They know if someone's visiting, there's a different car in your yard, right? And,
So
and
true.
sometimes they know before you do what's going on. And I love that because I've lived in places where I didn't know another soul, and I just felt really out of my element. And so I always tell this story about this little store that we have in Judic that has everything. It's like a department store, really, any groceries or anything that you need. And one morning before school, the woman who works there knows everybody, and she's been working there for years and years and years.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yes.
And she knows what's going on in your house by what you buy, and she'll kind of let you know. She won't tell anybody else, but she'll.
Yes.
I think it's maybe a little game for her now or something,
Yeah.
where she's trying to figure out. So one morning I ran in and I bought apple juice and crackers, and she said, "Oh, are the boys sick?" And I said, "Yeah, the boys are sick."
Yeah.
And then one June I went in and I bought a bunch of junk food like chips and chocolate bars, and she said, "Oh, are you working on your report cards?" I said, "Yes, I am working on my report cards." And then I went in a few weeks later and I bought a big bottle of red wine, and she said, "Oh, you finished your report cards."
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I love this song. Please, everybody, listen to every word. I just love it. I'm going to go make the tea and get
Okay.
this ready.
Don't let us forget to switch to put
Yeah.
your mic back on
Very,
too, because
very
I
good.
will forget
Very
about
good.
it. So anyway, I was feeling especially grateful, and I wrote this tune called "The Lucky One." I have friends to tell my troubles to, years to write them down. Family's not so far away, they can't just come around. I don't have a single gray hair upon my head, although I'm 40-some. I'm the lucky one. My house is so far from the road, I don't hear the cars. And from my bedroom window, I can see a million stars. I lie there with the one I love for years and years to come, although we owe a ton. I'm the lucky one. I can hear a voice across the hall, waking up and singing songs, although my sleep is done, and it's before the sun. I'm the lucky one. I can hear a voice across the hall, waking up and singing songs, although my sleep is done, and it's before the sun. I'm the lucky one. I have riches I cannot conceive, they're measured not in gold. We worry and we make our plans, then live with what unfolds. And I don't have a single gray hair upon my head, although I'm 40-some. It's one more battle won. I know someday they'll come, but I'm the lucky one. Oh, I'm the lucky one. Oh, the lucky one.
Awesome. And the tea's not ready.
Oh my gosh, do we have to do another one? One more?
Can you do another one?
We could probably do another one, yeah? Do you want to do, what's the other one that we practiced? Was keep it at 100. So my husband is a bit of a worrywart, And I was getting ready to go to Halifax one day, and I'm always late for everything. I was on time today, though, Mary Janet.
You were.
And I used to be on time for everything, and then we had children. And then we were not on time for anything, and now my children are a little bigger, so I'm starting to be back on time. And so I was leaving for Halifax one day, and I was taking Vern's car, and he likes his cars. He takes really good care of them, and he was out around the car, and he was checking the oil and everything. Baby's asleep. And he said, when I walked out, I could kind of tell that he wanted to say something to me, but he was a little afraid, you know, of kind of making me cross or something probably. And he said, you know, Lisa, it's an old car. You're not in a hurry. You don't have to be anywhere tonight to play or anything. Just, you know, just take your time and go easy on the car. So I said, okay, I'll keep it at 100. Like, I won't go past. Try not to go over the speed limit too much. And he said, okay. So on the way to Halifax, I wrote this song called Keep It at 100. I don't text and drive or anything like that. I have on my iPhone, a recorder.
Right.
And I just turn that on, and
Milk for you?
Yeah.
okay. So, you ready? This is a long, long stretch of road, and I'm taking in the sights, but there's these drivers on my bumper, honking horns and flashing lights, but I promised you I'd keep it at 100, 'cause the old girl, well, she's got a lot of miles, but I'm thinking that I'm never gonna get there, keeping my eye on the dials, not getting me anywhere. I left West
I hope yours is looking like mine.
Here is your. You want your mic?
Nice and hot. Okay, so here
I'll
you
trade
go.
Oh, that looks so good.
Here you go. So, I'm going to go get the tea.
There you go.
And a glass of milk for Finley. Huh?
I don't drink tea.
You don't drink tea. I didn't think
Not
so.
yet. We'll get them going soon, probably. on the
Here
tea.
you
That's
go.
great. Thank you.
In a china cup or a china
Beautiful.
cup of tea. So,
Oh, we'll wait for you, MJ.
I'm coming over. We'll have a little sample. All right. I made a mess. I have it all over the side of this this bowl. And tell me what you think.
Oh,
What do you think?
really good. That is delicious.
You have to kind of say that, don't you, on my show? But it is pretty good because it's a recipe that we've made over and over and over again, and the kids themselves make it wherever they are. And
Really good. And pretty easy. It looked like it was
and
pretty easy.
so easy. And say, did I spill tea on you? I probably did I? I have to have a little sip here. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's delicious.
So anyway, I want to say thank you so much for coming.
You're very welcome. It was so much fun.
No, yeah, it was really nice to have you, and I love your singing, as you well know. I was going to ask you a question. I don't know if you're ever asked this question, because sometimes we just never make the connection, and so much around here, the music, it runs in families, and especially the fiddle and the piano and all of that.
Yep.
And Lisa's mom and the Rankin family from Mabu, the performing Rankins all over the world, their dad and Lisa's mom were brother and sister. And Lisa's brother has been a music teacher for many years. He just retired this year, and his son is an amazing fiddle player, but her brother Lawrence is an amazing piano player besides that. So it's just in the genes, I swear to God. But has that influenced you in any way, or has helped you be even more creative, or what would you say?
Oh, definitely. I think I wouldn't be doing, I was probably the first time I was ever on stage was when I was 6 years old, and it was my mother was playing the piano for me. But I remember my mother trying to train our ear when we were young. So if she'd be sitting at the piano and would be singing. My sister is a singer too. My other brother says he plays the radio really well. But he can also sing a little well. And she would be playing a song and would be singing, and then she'd switch keys to see if we would follow her, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And there was just always music. All the people who were ever playing at dances or anything like that in the Marguerite area always came to our house because my mother played the piano. And so that definitely, definitely influenced. And my brother was, he taught music for years, but he taught me more than I could ever teach anyone about music and performing and, how to interact with an audience. I got a really good start at the Normway Inn in Marguerite.
Oh, right. Yes, they would have.
So I used to wait on tables and then go up to the living room and play, and it just made me really comfortable in front of an audience, where now I really felt like sometimes I'd be playing for one person and sometimes the room would be full, but I really credit that situation with making me very comfortable with an audience.
Yeah.
But definitely all family get-togethers.
Can you just
on
imagine?
the Cameron side and the Rankin side, where there was
Both.
always a lot of music and opportunity for everybody to perform and play, and it was just really easy.
And you're repeating it in your own home now, and that's beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I couldn't imagine without it, for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, listen, again, thank you so much. I'm gonna end it off here. I have to
Sure.
talk to the
Thank everybody for listening.
the crowd, and then you can always find her music on iTunes. That's where I downloaded. I think I have bought. Sorry, people, it's only me. See if I can get you here without too much light. So, but I think I have probably bought Lisa's CD 3 or 4 times, because I swear to God, I would wear it out and then it would start shaking and I'd have to buy a new one. But the downloadable one has been a real gift. So anyway, what am I doing next week? So next week, people, I want to make, I had a plan on what I was going to be making for a few weeks ahead, but I've had to change that up a little bit because we're going to be having a sponsored show in a couple of weeks and we had to put it off. But so next weekend, I'm going to be making Port Hood Grandma's lemon meringue pie from scratch. Now, I know that you've seen, the header on my Facebook page, which has all of the things that are meaningful to me. And on there, you'll see that there's a cutting board and there's writing on the cutting board. That's the recipe that I'm going to make. And it was my mother-in-law's recipe. Kelly's just giving me this. So this is it. Our daughter, Margie, put it on this cutting board and gave it to us one Christmas. As you know, we love to do homemade gifts only at Christmas time. And so she, our other daughter, Tammy, has the recipe book of our mother-in-law, their grandmother's recipe book. And so this recipe was one of the ones that was the most legible, didn't have spots and drops like so many recipe books had. And but it's a beautiful pie, and you're going to need a half a cup of lemon juice. But I challenge you to buy the real lemons and get your half a cup of lemons out of that. You might need 3 or 4 lemons to get a half a cup, and I guess you can put your lemons in some warm water, and you will get more juice. So you do that. But if you just have the little fake lemon thing, you want to use that, go ahead and use that. But you'll need cornstarch if it's something that you don't keep in your house, but I do. I always have cornstarch in for my gluten-free recipes where I have friends come in. So I always have cornstarch in for thickening the gravy when they're coming. And you'll need sugar, salt, hot water, 3 egg yolks, and of course you'll use the 3 egg whites for the meringue. And butter, a little bit of butter, just a couple of tablespoons. And that's all you'll need, and you'll need to make the crust. So I'm hoping that you guys will make the crust ahead of time. We've made pie crust in a previous session, so I want you to make it the day before, the morning of. Make 1 9-inch crust and have it ready. And we'll make the filling and the meringue, and we'll give that a go next week. But I think it will be really nice to make it from scratch because it's so easy to buy the box and just mix it up like we did for the squares. But I could have done this recipe for the filling as well for those lemon squares. So anyway, I hope that you will join me next Sunday when we make that, and I hope you have a wonderful week. It was so nice to have Lisa and Finn here, and family just is everything, isn't it? And the wind is taking my doors, and that's okay. We're glad to have the breeze because it's been pretty muggy here today. So I'm sending out all my good vibes to so many of you. I hope you have a wonderful week. I know so many out there are some people who are living with cancer and trying to make their days as good as possible. in their, their road to recovery, hopefully. But especially I was talking to a good friend of mine from Port Hood, Glenda Campbell, and she takes her iPad with her and she watches Tunes and Wooden Spoons, and she's got a few little treatments left to go. And Glenda, you're just a trooper, and thanks for always tuning in, and I hope that you have a good recovery in your path to wellness. So to everybody, have a wonderful week. Love everybody, because I love you. Bye-bye, everybody.